Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Sunday, October 30th, 2016. This morning, more definitive proof was created of how professional sports are scripted. You can only recognize this scripting if you know the language of numerology and gematria. Down in the description is my how to gematria video. 15 minutes of your life to learn a skill that will be useful for the rest of your life. So look, last Sunday, October 23rd, Sunday Night Football ended with a very rare tie. A tie between the Seahawks and Cardinals. I did a video showing how that game was a tribute to the World Series. Now here we are, a Sunday later. The World Series going on. It's Game 5 later today. The first game played of these Sunday games ends in a tie. This game was played in Wembley Stadium in London. The final score of the game is 27-27. And if you don't know numerology, if you don't know gematria, you don't have a clue that that is signs of a scripted sports game. Here's what the language of gematria reveals. The word baseball equals 54. MLB for Major League Baseball equals 27. In the MLB, the New York Yankees lead with 27 World Series wins. New York Yankees. Right now, the World Series is the Chicago Cubs playing the Cleveland Indians. Now think about this. The Cleveland Indians with their mocking mascot, the big grin, the bright red face. Look at who is involved in this tie in the NFL. The Redskins. Indians, Redskins. And who are they playing? The Bengals from Ohio, like Cleveland. Cleveland Indians, Redskins, Bengals, 27-27, a sum of 54, the baseball number. Think about those numbers in regards to baseball, too. For each team in a complete game, each team gets 27 outs, 9 innings, 3 outs, 9 times 3, 27. Put it together, 27 outs for both teams in a complete game, that's 54 outs, like MLB and Major League. Also interesting, tie game in gematria sums to 33, like Indian, Redskins, Cleveland Indians. Cleveland, the only city in the world of professional sports in the U.S. that has a name that sums to 33. Cleveland 33. The Cleveland Indians have a chance to close out the World Series tonight. If the Indians win, the series will be 4-1 in their favor. When you write out the word 14 in gematria, it sums to 41. It's been 14 years since a single city won 2 pro sports championships. The last city to do it was Los Angeles in 2002, the Lakers and the Angels. Now 14 years later, the Cleveland Indians having a chance to join the Cleveland Cavaliers. And notice that was NBA and baseball as well. Also, during the regular season, the Cleveland Indians had a 14-game winning streak over the same teams the Cavs did in the playoffs. I predicted that streak would end at 14 because the word end equals 14. Last night for the Cubs, John Lackey pitched, who was on that 2002 Angels team. We'll see if that happens. I've been suspecting the Cubs will win the World Series in Game 7. You know, they're down 3-1 like the Cleveland Cavs were. Cubs are big favorites to win tonight. We'll see what happens. If they close it out, remember this game. If they lose, also remember this game because I want to show you what happened for the Redskins at the end of the game that resulted in the tie. So the game went to overtime, of course. In overtime, the kicker missed a 30-yard field goal, which is just 1 yard longer than the new extra point, the 33-yard extra point. Changed that rule last year. Indians in gematria, the plural, equals 34. The Redskins kicker missed a 34-yarder. Isn't that a little bit suspicious? You know? Dustin Hopkins is the name of the kicker. Dustin Hopkins in gematria sums to 179, like the 41st prime number. Game 5 is what's going on in the World Series tonight. Game 5 equals 41. Remember, 41's the 13th prime number. USA equals 41. The USA began with 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag. Wembley Stadium, some of these things could be coincidence, but I'm just documenting. Wembley Stadium equals 55-64. Chicago Cubs equals 46-55. Little overlap there. You know, if the Indians fall short tonight, we'll remember that the Redskins kicker shanked it. But it could also be a tribute to the Indians closing out tonight. You know, maybe some natives have to lose so some other natives can win. Also, with regards to kicker in Gematria sums to 57 like World Series. You know, Dustin Hopkins being the man that brought this to a tie game. He's born October 1st. October, the only month that sums to 33, like tie game, like the 33s we talked about in the beginning. Dustin equals 33, Pythagorean with the S exception. And in case you missed my video from last Sunday, I'll link it in the description. What I talked about is how the Cardinals, how they tied the Seahawks. The Chicago Cardinals are what the Cardinals once were. They were one of the two first football teams established in Chicago, like the Cubs. Last week's game, a tie game, Chicago Cubs, or Chicago Cardinals, CC, like the Chicago Cubs. Now the Arizona Cardinals playing on the 33rd parallel. In Glendale, Glendale equals 33 like tie game. See if I wrote this up here last week. Here's Glendale. The missing kick went off the goalpost. So there were some 33s on last week's game on the 33rd parallel. Anyway, what I noticed after the game, after the tie happened, was that the last times this had happened to the Cardinals were in 1972 against the Eagles. So I thought, that's interesting. Seahawks, the last time it happened, Eagles, Birds. And then before that, Chiefs. I said, Chiefs, Birds. Okay, I'm putting this picture together. Because again, as I've been educating about all these years, it's been scripted this way, mocking the masses by the numbers, tributes to history. Think about it. Birds, natives. Chiefs, feathers in the headdress. You see? That's why last Sunday, a tribute through the NFL to the World Series. Now this Sunday, a tribute to the World Series. And this one's a lot more clear to see. As I pointed out last week, the score was 6-6. World Series has that gematria of 66 as well. When you write out 33, it sums to 66. I go into it in more depth in this video. I'll link it in the description if you want to watch. You know, I don't know how people can deny it. Look at the final records as well. The team from Ohio is 3-4 and 1 after the tie. Indians 34, who play in Ohio like the Bengals. 43, the reflection. Come on, truth seekers, help me spread this knowledge. We got to wake up the masses. This is too obvious. It's too in our face. The mocking is deep. Even from having teams called Redskins and Indians. I mean, the Indians logo, just in case there's anybody out there that doesn't know the Cleveland Indians logo, let's close out with this. Cleveland Indians logo. I mean, look at that, truth seeker. Bright red skin. Mocking grin. It's just so sick, you know? These sports leagues are sick. I'm not saying sports are sick, but I'm saying the leagues are sick. You know, people investing all this time, this energy, these overpaid athletes, rigged games, all this money spent. Come on, truth seekers. We got to get the message out. How much longer are we going to let this mocking go on? Anybody who thinks this is a coincidence is an absolute fool. Absolute fool. Until next time.